Okay, so this is George Malik, and we'll be doing the tool holder, and one of the three that we'll do this week. This one is dealing with work plane or inclined planes. So last time we're doing mostly prismatic shapes, right? You know, vertical and horizontal surfaces, and how we see those in 3D, right? How we see those in our three views, top, front, and right side views. So now we're getting a little more complicated. So now we're going to start looking at objects that have a lot of inclined planes on them. And the inclined planes are obviously going to present some different challenges in terms of where do we draw those surfaces and how do we draw those surfaces, and more importantly, where do we see those surfaces true size and where do we not see those surfaces true size. We have to understand the difference between those. So that's what we're doing today. So the tool holder here is going to be the sort of the first one we'll try, and this one has a lot of inclined planes. Comes out of a box, basically a box that's 3.78 long by 2.24 wide by 2. And we got this very dramatic shaved face here that's at a 45-degree angle that we know starts a ½ inch in, cuts out. And then we've got a couple of different things. We've got some different slots or notches taken out of it. And obviously, you know, these faces here are driven by how far back in that slot goes, right? So the further back in the slot goes, the taller that face is going to be, because the more it's going to intersect this inclined plane. So we have these to deal with. And then we've got some compound angles here where we have a 30-degree angle driving down into that slot. And obviously, the further it goes down, it widens because it's interacting with this inclined plane. And the same thing with this little notch here. So, you know, as usual, we're going to draw these things one thing at a, you know, one surface at a time. But when I look at this drawing, I think of sort of the major feature that I'm going to have to mess with is first the block and then this inclined plane, because that sort of interacts with everything else. So I want to get this thing out of the way as far, you know, first. So as I look here, then I can sort of you know, look at my drawing here. I want to make sure that my settings, my track settings are set, and track using all polar angle settings. My angles here are set up. Quadrant, I probably don't need. Midpoint, center, endpoints, that's pretty good. So I'm in good shape there. Have everything I need. So I can start drawing here. So I'm going to first start by setting up my boxes, and I will set up where these drawings are going to go. So I can do this, and I can do this. Let me set up my front view. So that means then I'll be 3.78 from here over. So there's 2 inches up. So I've got that. There's my first box. Then I can set my next construction line, you know, right about in here somewhere. So I can do that. And then I can offset that 2.24. I can set that. And then finally, I want to set my 2 points on an angle, and I want to set my miter line up. So my miter line. And I'm going to trim that back real fast. And then I can use my vertical lines there and there. So now that I have that, I can set my object here and trace over that. And then I can trace over this. And then I can trace over this. Okay. So there are my boxes, my top, front, and right side view. Now, as I look at this, then I want to look at this drawing again. And where do I see this inclined plane as an edge? Not where I'm looking into the face of it or looking down on the face of it, but where do I see it as an edge where its true size? Where do I see that? And the answer for that question is going to be obviously in the, wait for it, yes, the front or the right side view. So the right side view, I'm looking this way at it, which means we're looking at the edge of that surface. Okay. So here I go. So there we go. I can do that so I can get this out of the way. So I want to first start by starting off with a offset. Right, and now with that, I can draw 2 points at an angle, and I can draw that 45 degrees down, which was 2.25. And so what I'm going to end up with is I'll end up with a line going from here to here. And I can trim this and that back. Okay. So now that I've done that, obviously this flat here is going to be coming right across here. I can project that off my miter line over. And I can draw a line here. And then here, I can project over. There's the bottom of my object. Here's that change in the surface where that inclined plane stops. Right there. So then I can draw a line from here to there. All right, now do all my lines agree? Yes, they do. So my views are synced up now. They're ready to go. So that makes sense. So here I go and away I go. All right. So next step is let's pick a feature. I'm gonna deal with these notches next. I figure that's probably the next easiest thing to do. Now the question is, where do I see those notches true size? And the answer to that question is I'm going to see them true size in the top view. I'll actually see them as a contour here and here. So I'm going to kind of lay out then where they go in the top view. So I've got that, I've got the 1 inch and that 0.76, so I can actually lay out my construction line here. So I can put one across here, one across here. And then I can do a little offsetting. And then all right, then it's going to be 0.76, and then the more shallow one will be 0.54. So then I've got something where it looks like this for one of those notches. And then it would look like this for the other notch. Okay. So here's the deeper notch. Now the question is I know where these notches show up, but what I don't know is I don't know how far up the surface is here. And the only way I'm going to know that is if I project this back edge over, and then I project this back edge down. So here, then I can project that over to here. And I know then that I'm going to have something that looks like this, up and over. And I know that that gets cut away. And then same thing here. So if I cut this vertical line down here, then I can project that over. And I can draw my line from here to there, to there, to there. And I can do that. Okay. Now, obviously, this is going to show up as a line here that's visible. And this is going to show up as a dashed line like that. Okay. And there's my objects thus far. All right, so moving on down the road, let's see here. Which one do I need to do next? Probably let's take care of this thing here. Okay. So again, where do I see that as an inclined plane? I see it as I see it probably in my front view. I see it as this edge. So if I do a little offsetting here, again, I can start with this cross here. Do a little offsetting. I will say that if I offset down, okay, and then if I offset over, .74 and 1.12 is going to be 1.86. So that's going to be this distance all the way over that all the way over here. So I'm going to have to calculate from this corner over 0.74, 1.12, 1.86 to get to this point here. So I can offset that. And then I can draw a line as 30 degrees. And I can have a line now that goes from here to there. Oh, just with the right line type. Something like that. Project up that change in surface. So now I know where this thing begins. I know where it ends, where the flat exists. What I don't know is I don't know how wide that flat is. So if I'm looking here, I know this surface here, I'm going to see an edge. So I can put a hidden line here. And then I can project up using my something like that. So then this surface then is going to look a lot like this. It's going to say, okay, I start here. I start here, go to here, here. Okay, and there we go. All right. So last step is we're going to have this little thing here, this little incline here to cut across. So obviously for that one, then it's going to be a 45-degree angle. I'm going to see it in this view. I can offset 0.74 over, and then I can draw a line from there okay, and then I can project this point across. And notice how this point and this point are coincident to each other. So that says that I now have to change that from a hidden line back to a visible line, because that's the line I've got. And then I have to figure out where this line stops. So where is this point on this view? So I can project that up. And I can say project it over. And now that I have that, I can draw a line from this point to that point. And from here to here. All right. All right, so far so good. So last step is that hole. So let me show you how we're going to put that in. First step for the hole is, how do we draw that hole where it is in its true size view? You're looking down the hole. And then you want to do that in this view. 0.76 and 0.62, I can put a center line across here and do some offsetting. So I can say, all right. And we can make sure that we're typing in diameter, D for diameter. I can type in the value 0.625, and there I go. Now that I've done that, I can switch to my center line, and I can pick my center mark command. I can do something like that. So as we look at this, right, we could use that tangent constraint. So there they are. And we can then offset the depth of that hole. So if the hole is 1.5 deep, then we're going to offset 1.25, and I can offset this line that direction. Now that I have that, I can sort of draw this line in using my hidden lines. So that's my first step. Second step is I'm going to have to put a nose cone on this thing. So normally drills are 118 degrees. We draw them at 120 for convenience. So that means the included angle here is 120, which means when we draw them, right, it's always going to be 30 off the horizontal. So there's 90 plus 30, which is 120 here. And then I can just fall back and do that. And that should be okay. While I'm at it, then you can also take all right. All right, we've got that. Okay, right around in here somewhere. There we go. I can trim that back. Okay. So we'll put my center marks in. Put my center marks in. I can come back with my center marks. And I can do my okay. Okay, there we go. All right. So that should be it. We can put this guy on. Change our scale back to 1:1. Okay, for some reason you can't get this done. We might have to do a little moving here. So let's see how that works. So if I need to kind of get these guys together, I use my move command. Move works nicely. I can pick my object, hit enter, pick out the middle of nowhere. I can kind of move it down. Now, mind you, I still want to make this to where my parts together, so I can construct here my horizontal line and my vertical line, and then I can move this guy in. All right, that's it. There it is. Voila. Name and title, and you turn that thing in. All right. Hope that was good. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back to draw some of the drawings. Thanks. Bye.